Neville Goddard, 1944. Feeling is the Secret, simplified retranslation by Spiritual Silverer. Forward. This book is about the art of getting what you want. It tells you how the visible world is made. The book is small but not weak. There is a treasure in it, a clear path to making your dreams come true. If it were possible to convince someone with well thought out arguments and clear examples, this book would be a lot bigger. It is rare, though, to be able to do so through written statements or arguments, because the person with the suspended judgment always thinks it is possible to say that the author was lying or mistaken, so his evidence is tainted. So, I've left out all arguments and testimonials on purpose. Instead, I'm just challenging anyone with an open mind to try out the law of consciousness as it's explained in this book. Personal success will be much more convincing than all the books that could be written on the subject. Neville Chapter 1, Law and How It Works. The world, and everything in it, is the objectified form of man's conditioned consciousness. Consciousness is both the cause and the thing that makes up the whole world. So, if we want to know the secret of creation, we must look to consciousness. If you understand the law of consciousness and how it works, you will be able to do anything you want in life. With a good understanding of this law, you can make and keep an ideal world. Consciousness is the only reality, and I don't mean that in a metaphorical way. For clarity, this reality can be compared to a stream that has two parts, the conscious and the subconscious. To use the law of consciousness in a smart way, you need to know how the conscious mind and the subconscious mind work together. The conscious is about you and makes choices, while the subconscious is not about you and doesn't make choices. The conscious is where things happen, while the subconscious is where things happen. The male and female parts of consciousness are these two parts. The conscious mind is a man, and the subconscious mind is a woman. The conscious mind comes up with ideas and sends them to the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind receives ideas and gives them shape and meaning. By this law, which says that you must first think of an idea and then impress that idea on your subconscious, all things come from consciousness. Without this order, nothing would be made. The conscious makes an impression on the subconscious, and the subconscious shows what it has learned. The subconscious doesn't come up with ideas on its own. Instead, it accepts as true the ideas that the conscious mind thinks are true, and in a way that only it knows, it makes the accepted ideas more real. So, man is in charge of creation because he has the ability to think and feel and the freedom to choose which idea to follow. To control your subconscious, you have to be in charge of your thoughts and feelings. The mechanism of creation is hidden in the subconscious, which is the female part of creation or the womb of creation. The subconscious goes beyond reason and is not influenced by it. It thinks of a feeling as a fact that exists in and of itself, and from this point of view, it gives the feeling a voice. The creative process starts with an idea, goes through a feeling, and ends with a decision to do something. Feelings are the way that ideas get into the subconscious mind. No idea can stick in the mind until it is felt, but once it is felt, whether it is good, bad, or neutral, it must be said. The only way for ideas to reach the subconscious is through how they make you feel. So, a man who can't control his feelings can easily convince his subconscious of things he doesn't want. By control of feelings, we don't mean holding back or hiding your feelings. Instead, we mean training yourself to only think about and act on feelings that make you happy. To live a full and happy life, you need to be in charge of how you feel. Never give in to a bad feeling or think about wrong in any way that makes you feel bad. Don't think about how bad you or other people are. If you do this, you are telling your subconscious mind that you have these limits. What you don't want done to you, don't think it's happening to you or someone else. This is the only rule for living a full, happy life. Everything else is just a side note. Every feeling leaves a mark on your subconscious, and unless it's overpowered by a stronger feeling of the opposite kind, it has to come out. Whichever of two feelings is stronger is the one that comes out. I am healthy feels better than I will be healthy. To think I will be is to admit I am not. I am is a stronger statement than I am not. What you think you are always comes before what you think you want to be. For a wish to come true, you have to think of it as a state you are in, not a state you are not in. Sensation comes before manifestation, and it is the base of all manifestation. Be aware of your moods and feelings, because there is a direct link between how you feel and what you see. Your body acts as a filter for your emotions and shows clear signs of how you're feeling. All diseases are caused by emotional problems, especially feelings that are repressed. When someone feels strongly about a wrong but doesn't say anything about it, this is the start of disease, or disease, in both the body and the environment. Don't give in to the feeling that you've failed or that you've made a mistake, because frustration or losing sight of your goal will make you sick. Only think deeply about the state you want to reach. All miracles happen when the state sought is felt to be real and the person lives and acts on that conviction. All changes in how we say things are caused by changes in how we feel. A change in how you feel is a change in your future. The subconscious is where all creation takes place. So, what you need to learn is how to control your thoughts and feelings, or how to control how your subconscious works. Chance or accidents don't cause the things that happen to you, and your good or bad luck isn't written in stone. Your world is made up of the things that your unconscious mind tells you. The subconscious doesn't pick and choose, it doesn't care about who you are. Acts 10:34, Romans 2:11. The subconscious doesn't care if what you're feeling is true or not. It always takes what you think to be true as true. Feeling is the subconscious agreeing that what is said to be true is true. Because the subconscious is like this, nothing is out of reach for man. Whatever a person's mind can think of and feel to be true, the subconscious can and must make an object out of it. Your feelings make the patterns that make up your world, and when your feelings change, so do the patterns. The subconscious always says what it has been taught. As soon as it gets an impression, it starts to figure out how to show that impression. It takes the feeling you give it, your feeling, as a fact in itself and starts working right away to make an exact copy of that feeling in the outside, or objective, world. The subconscious never changes what people already believe. It shows them in great detail and says whether or not they are helpful. To make the subconscious believe that you are already in the state you want, you must feel like you are already there. When defining your goal, you should only think about the goal itself. You shouldn't think about the way someone says something or how hard it is. When you think about a state with emotion, it sticks in your mind. So, if you focus on problems, obstacles, or delays, your subconscious, which doesn't discriminate, takes the feeling of problems and obstacles as your request and makes them happen in your outer world. The subconscious is the place where new ideas are born. It gets the idea for itself through how people feel. It doesn't change the idea it gets, but it always gives it shape. So, the subconscious pictures the idea in the shape and form of the feeling it gets. To think that a situation is hopeless or impossible is to tell your subconscious that you will fail. Even though the subconscious serves man well, it should not be assumed, as was thought in the past, that the relationship is that of a servant to a master. The old prophets called it man's servant and slave. St. Paul called it our woman and said, the woman should be subject to the man in everything, Ephesians 5:24, also I Corinthians 14:34, Ephesians 5:22, Colossians 3:18, and 1 Peter 3:1. The subconscious does help people and faithfully gives shape to how they feel. But the subconscious hates being forced and responds better to persuasion than to orders. Because of this, it is more like the beloved wife than their servant. The husband is head of the wife, Ephesians 5:23, may not be true of the relationship between a man and a woman on earth, but it is true of the conscious and the subconscious, or the male and female parts of consciousness. Paul was talking about the mystery of consciousness when he wrote, "This is a great mystery," 5:32, "He who loves his wife loves himself," 5:28, "and they will be one flesh," 5:31. Consciousness is actually one and not split up, but for the sake of creation, it seems to be split into two. The conscious, or male, or objective part is really the head, and the subconscious, or female, or subjective part is in charge. But this kind of leadership is not that of a dictator, but of a lover. So, by imagining how you would feel if you already had your goal, you move your subconscious to build something that looks just like what you imagine. Your subconscious doesn't accept your wants until you feel like they're true. Only when you feel something is it subconsciously accepted, and only when it's subconsciously accepted does it ever come out. It is easier to say that how you feel is because of what is going on in the world than to say that how you feel is because of how the world is, but it's always true that what's on the outside shows what's on the inside. As inside, so outside. Correspondence is the second of the 7 principles of Hermes Trismegistus. It says, as above, so below, as below, so above, as within, so without, as without, so within. A person can't get anything unless it comes from heaven. John 3:27, and Luke 17:21, the kingdom of heaven is inside of you. Nothing comes from the outside, everything comes from the inside, or the subconscious. You can't see anything but what's in your mind. Your consciousness is shown in every part of your world. Objective facts are evidence of what's going on in your mind. The way someone looks changes when their opinion of them changes. The subconscious believes what you feel to be true, and since creation is the result of subconscious impressions, you control creation by how you feel. You are already what you want to be. The only reason you don't see it is because you refuse to believe it. To look for something on the outside that you don't feel you are is to look in vain, because we never find what we want, we only find what we are. In short, you can only express and have what you are aware of being and having. It is given to him who is it, Matthew 13:12, 25 hours 29 minutes, Mark 4:25, Luke 8:18, 19:26. You can get what you want by ignoring what your senses tell you and taking on the feeling of having your wish come true. Your highest achievement is being able to control your own thoughts and feelings. but until you have perfect self-control, so that you feel everything you want to feel, no matter what others think, sleep and prayer will help you get to where you want to be. These are the two ways into the subconscious. Chapter 2. Feeling is the secret. Sleep. Sleep, which takes up about a third of our time on Earth, is a natural way to get into the subconscious. So now we're worried about sleep. How much attention we pay to sleep shows how we spend the other 2/3 of our lives on Earth. Because we know and like what sleep gives us, we will set out for it every night as if we were meeting a lover. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when men are deep asleep on their beds, he opens their ears and seals their instruction. Job 33 says, man goes into his subconscious when he sleeps or prays, which is a state similar to sleep. This is where he gets his ideas and instructions. In these states, the conscious and subconscious minds work together in a creative way. The man and the woman become one. During sleep, the male, or conscious mind, leaves the world of senses and goes in search of its lover, or subconscious self. The subconscious, unlike the woman of the world who marries her husband to change him, doesn't want to change the conscious, waking state. Instead, it loves the conscious, waking state as it is and faithfully copies it in the form world. Your subconscious impressions while you sleep give birth to the conditions and events of your life. They are made to look like your deepest thoughts and feelings so that you can see yourself in them. As in heaven, so on earth is written in Matthew 6:10 and Luke 1:19. As it is in the mind, so it is on earth. What you think about when you go to sleep is a good indicator of how you'll act during the other 2/3 of your life. You can't reach your goal unless you don't feel like you already are what you want to be or have what you're looking for. Your subconscious gives your wants shape only when you feel like you've gotten what you wanted. The normal state of the subconscious is the state of being asleep and not aware. Because everything comes from you, and how you see yourself determines what comes, you should always feel like you've gotten what you want before you go to sleep. You never pull what you want out of the deep parts of yourself, you always pull what you are, and you are both what you feel you are and what you feel others are. So, for the wish to come true, it must be turned into the feeling of being, having, or seeing the state that is sought. This is done by imagining that the wish has already come true. The feeling that comes to mind when you ask yourself, how would I feel if my wish came true, should be the one that keeps you awake as you drift off to sleep. Before you can fall asleep, you have to be aware of being or having what you want to be or have. Man has no choice once he is asleep. His last idea of himself when he woke up rules his whole sleep. So, he should always go to sleep feeling accomplished and happy. Come before me with singing and thanksgiving. Psalm 95:2. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. Psalm 100:4. Your mood before you go to sleep determines your state of mind as you enter the subconscious, which is your forever lover. She sees you just as you think of yourself. If, as you get ready for bed, you tell yourself, I am successful, and keep telling yourself that, you must be successful. Lay on your back with your head at the same level as the rest of your body. Feel what it would be like to have your wish come true, and then quietly fall asleep. He who watches over Israel will not snooze or sleep. Psalm 121:4. Still, Psalm 127:2 says, He gives His beloved sleep. The unconscious mind never goes to bed. Sleep is the door through which the awake, conscious mind can enter the subconscious and connect with it creatively. The objective world shows the creative act, while sleep hides it. When a person sleeps, he or she imprints his or her idea of himself on the subconscious. By night on my bed I sought him whom my soul loves, 3-1. I found him whom my soul loves, I held him and didn't let him go until I brought him into my mother's house and into the room of the woman who gave birth to me. 3-4. As you get ready for bed, you put yourself in the state of having your wish come true, and then you let go and fall asleep. He who you seek is your wish come true. At night, when you're in bed, you try to get the feeling of a wish coming true so you can take it with you into the room of their woman who gave birth to you, into sleep, or into your subconscious, which gave you shape, so that this wish can also come true. This is how you can figure out what you want and make it happen. Feel what it would be like if your wish came true, and then go to sleep in peace. Every night, you should give yourself the feeling of being, having, and seeing what you want to be, have, and see in their world. Don't ever go to sleep feeling down or unhappy. Never go to sleep thinking about how you failed. Your subconscious, whose natural state is sleep, sees you as you think you are. Whether you think you are good, bad, or neutral, your subconscious will be true to what you think. As you feel, you make an impression on her, and she, being the perfect lover, gives these impressions shape and brings them to life as if they were the children of her beloved. Thou art perfect, my love, thou hast no flaws. This is how you should feel before going to sleep, according to Song of Solomon 47. Don't pay attention to how things look. Instead, think that they are the way you want them to be, because he calls things that are not seen as if they were, and the unseen becomes seen. Romans 4:17. To assume the feeling of satisfaction is to bring about situations that make you feel satisfied. Signs come after, not before. Proof that you are will come after you become aware that you are, not before. You are an eternal dreamer who has dreams that aren't eternal. As you act like your dreams are real, they start to come true. Don't stay stuck in the past. Knowing that nothing is impossible for consciousness, start to think about states that are different from what you've experienced before. Man can do anything his mind can come up with. All objective, visible states started out as subjective, invisible states, and you made them visible by feeling like they were true. First, you have to imagine a state, and then you have to believe that state. Always think of and plan for the best. You can't change the world until you change how you see it. As inside, so outside. People and nations are only what you think they are. No matter what the problem is, where it is, or who it affects, the only person you can change is yourself, and you have neither an enemy nor a friend to help you make the change. You don't have to do anything but convince yourself that what you want to happen is true. As soon as you can convince yourself that the state you want is real, results come along to back up your firm belief. You never tell someone how you want them to act. Instead, you try to convince yourself that he already is that thing you want him to be. You can make your wish come true by feeling like it has already come true. You can't fail unless you can't make yourself believe that what you want is true. A change in how you act shows that your beliefs have changed. Every night when you go to sleep, you should feel happy and clean, because your subjective lover always makes the objective world look like your idea of it, which is based on how you feel. Your waking 2/3 of your life on earth always backs up or proves what your unconscious mind tells you. The things that happen, during the day are not causes, they are effects. Free will is just the ability to choose. Decide today whom you will serve. Joshua 24:15 says that you can choose the mood you're in, but how that mood shows itself is a secret of the subconscious. The subconscious only gets impressions from how people feel, and it gives these impressions shape and form in a way that only it knows. Man's actions are based on what he takes in unconsciously. He thinks he has free will and acts as if he can do whatever he wants because he doesn't know what makes him act. He thinks he is free because he has forgotten how he is connected to what happened. Man awake feels compelled to talk about what's going on in his mind. If he has been too proud of himself in the past, he needs to start changing how he thinks and feels. Only when he does this will he be able to change his world. Don't waste a second thinking about how bad things were in the past. If you do, you'll make the same mistakes again. Let the dead bury their own dead. Matthew 8:22, Luke 16:22, 9:60. Turn away from how you look and try to feel the way you would if you were already the person you want to be. When you feel a state, that state happens. How you see yourself will determine what role you play on the world's stage. By feeling like your wish has come true and then falling asleep quietly, you cast yourself in a star role that will be played on Earth tomorrow, and while you sleep, you are rehearsed and taught your part. When you accept the goal, you automatically will the way to get there. Do not get this wrong. If, as you get ready for sleep, you don't consciously feel yourself in the state of your answered wish, you'll take all of your reactions and feelings from the day with you into the room of the woman who gave birth to you, and while you sleep, you'll be told how to show them tomorrow. When you wake up, you'll think you have free will, but you won't know that everything you do and everything that happens to you during the day is already set by your idea of yourself before you went to sleep. Then, the only freedom you have is the freedom to act. You can choose how you feel and what you do in response to the drama of the day, but the actions, events, and situations of the day have already been set. Unless you have a clear idea of how you want to feel when you go to sleep, you will unconsciously go to sleep with a mood that is a mix of all your feelings and actions from the day. Every action leaves a mark on the subconscious, and if it isn't cancelled out by an opposite and stronger feeling, it leads to more actions. Creative actions are those that combine ideas with feelings. Make good use of your divine right. Because you can think and feel, you have control over everything. When you're awake, you're a gardener choosing seeds for your garden, but John 12:24 says, "Except the grain of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it stays alone, but if it dies, it bears much fruit." The seed you plant in the subconscious when you go to sleep is how you see yourself. When you go to sleep feeling happy and satisfied, things happen in your life that confirm these feelings. Sleep is the door into heaven. What you feel inside becomes a condition, action, or an object in space. So go to sleep with the feeling that your wish has come true. Chapter 3 Feeling is the secret. Prayer like sleep. Prayer is a way to get into the subconscious. When you pray, go into your closet, shut the door, and pray to your Father in secret. Your Father in secret will reward you in the open. Matt 6:6. Prayer is an illusion of sleep that makes the mind less aware of the outside world and more open to suggestions from the inside. When you pray, your mind is in a state of calm and openness that is similar to how you feel right before you fall asleep. Prayer is less about what you ask for and more about how you get ready to receive it. Whatever you want, When you pray, believe that you already have it, and you will have it. Mark 11:24. The only thing you have to do is believe that your prayers have already been answered. Your prayer will be answered if you take on the feeling you would have if you already had your goal. As soon as you start to believe that your wish will come true, your subconscious starts to look for ways to make it happen. So, to pray well, you must give in to the wish, or feel that the wish has come true. A man with perfect discipline is always in tune with his wish as if it had already come true. He knows that consciousness is the only real thing, that ideas and feelings are facts of consciousness and are just as real as things in space. Because of this, he never has a feeling that doesn't make him happy, since feelings are what make him do things and end up in situations that make him happy. On the other hand, an untrained person has a hard time believing things that don't make sense to him. He usually accepts or rejects things based on how they seem to him. Because we tend to trust what our senses tell us, we have to shut them out before we can pray and try to feel what they say isn't there. When you're thinking, "I'd like to, but I can't," you can't give in to your wish no matter how hard you try. You never get what you want, but you always get what you are aware of yourself to be. Prayer is the art of making yourself feel like you already have what you want. When your senses tell you that what you want doesn't exist, trying to fight this suggestion is pointless and tends to make it stronger. Prayer is the art of giving in to what you want, not making yourself want something. Whenever your feeling goes against what you want, your feeling will win. The most important feeling always comes out. It shouldn't be hard to pray. Effort is fatal when you try to fix a state of mind that goes against what your senses tell you. To give in to the wish as if it were already true, you must put yourself in a passive state, a kind of daydreaming or meditative reflection that is similar to how you feel before you go to sleep. In this relaxed state, the mind isn't focused on the real world, so it's easy to feel how real a subjective state is. It's a state where you're aware and able to move or open your eyes, but you don't want to. Relaxing in a comfortable chair or bed is a good way to get into this state. If you're on a bed, lie flat on your back with your head at the same height as the rest of your body. Close your eyes and pretend you're tired. Feel, "I am sleepy, so sleepy, so very sleepy." In a short time, you'll feel like you're on the other side of the world and have no desire to move. You're having a nice, comfortable rest and don't want to move, even though you wouldn't be at all comfortable in any other situation. When you reach this passive state, imagine that your wish has come true, not how it came true, but that it has come true. Imagine what you want to accomplish in life as a picture, and then feel as if you've already done it. Thoughts cause tiny speech movements that can be heard as if they came from the outside when a person is quiet and praying. But this level of passivity is not necessary for your prayers to come true. All you have to do is put yourself in a passive state and feel the wish come true. You already have everything you could ever need or want. You don't need anyone to give it to you, it's already yours. Imagine and feel your wishes coming true to make them come true. As soon as you accept the end, you don't care if you fail to get there, because accepting the end wills the way to get there. When you come out of the moment of prayer, it's like you saw the happy and successful end of a play, but you didn't see how it happened. But now that you've seen the end, even if it didn't live up to your expectations, you can stay calm and safe in the knowledge that the end has been perfectly set. Chapter 4. Feeling is the secret, spirit, feeling. Neither by strength nor by power, but by my spirit, says Zechariah 4-6. Get into the spirit of the state you want to be in by imagining how you would feel if you were already there. As soon as you feel like you are in the state you want, you don't have to do anything to get there because you are already there. Every thought in a person's mind is connected to a certain feeling. Capture the feeling you would have if your wish came true by imagining how you would feel if you already had what you want, and your wish will come true on its own. According to your faith, how you feel, let it be to you. Matthew 9:29. You never get what you want. Instead, you always get what you are. As a man is, so does he see. To him who is it will be given, and from him who doesn't have it will be taken. Matthew 13:12, Matthew 25:29, Mark 4:25, Luke 8:18, and Luke 19:26. You are what you think you are, and you get what you think you are. So try to imagine how you would feel if you already had your wish, and your wish will come true. Genesis 1:27 says, So God made man in his own image, in the image of God. Have the same mind as Christ Jesus, who, though he looked like God, didn't think it was wrong to be equal to God. Philippians 2:5-6. You are exactly what you think you are. Instead of believing in God or Jesus, you should think that you are God or Jesus. Whoever believes in me, he will do the same things I do. John 14:12 should say, He who believes as I do will do the same works I do. Jesus didn't think it was strange to do God's work, because he thought that he was God. I and my Father are one, John 10:30. It makes sense to act like the person you think you are. So act like the person you want to be and you will be that person. When a man believes that the advice he is given is good and follows it, he makes success a reality for himself.